A favicon, KN, also known as a shortcut icon, website icon, tab icon, URL icon, or bookmark icon, is a file containing one or more small icons associated with a particular website or web page. A web designer can create such an icon and upload it to a website by several means, and graphical web browsers will then make use of it. Browsers that provide favicon support typically display a page's favicon in the browser's address bar and next to the page's name in a list of bookmarks. Browsers that support a tab document interface typically show a page's favicon next to the page's title on the tab, and site-specific browsers use the favicon as a desktop icon. Favicons can also be used to have a textless favorite site, saving space. History. In March 1999, Microsoft released Internet Explorer 5, which supported favicons for the first time. Originally, the favicon was a file called favicon. ICO placed in the root directory of a website. It was used in Internet Explorer's favorites and next to the URL in the address bar if the page was bookmarked. A side effect was that the number of visitors who have bookmarked the page could be estimated by the requests of the favicon. This side effect no longer works, as all modern browsers load the favicon file to display in the web address bar, regardless of whether the site is bookmarked. Standardization. The favicon was standardized by the World Wide Web Consortium in the HTML 4.01 recommendation, released in December 1999, and later in the XHTML 1.0 recommendation, released in January 2000. The standard implementation uses a link element with a rel attribute in the NLT, head and GT section of the document to specify the file format and file name and location. Unlike in the prior scheme, the file can be in any website directory and have any image file format. In 2003, the ICO format was registered by a third party with the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority under the MIME type image VND Microsoft icon. Ironically, when using the ICO format to display as images, Internet Explorer cannot display files served with this standardized MIME type. A workaround for Internet Explorer is to associate ICO with the non-standard image X icon MIME type in web service. RFC 5988 established an IANA link relation registry, and REL equals icon was registered in 2010 based on the HTML5 specification. The popular NLT link REL equals shortcut icon type equals image X icon href equals favicon. ICO and GT theoretically identifies two relations, shortcut and icon, but shortcut is not registered and is redundant. In 2011, the HTML Living Standard specified that for historical reasons, shortcut is allowed immediately before icon. However, shortcut does not have a meaning in this context. Legacy Internet Explorer 5 to 10 supports only the ICO file format. Netscape 7 and Internet Explorer versions 5 and 6 browsers display the favicon only when the page is bookmarked, and not simply when the page is visited as in later browsers. Browser implementation. The following table illustrates major web browsers supporting different features. The version numbers indicate the starting version of a supported feature. File format support. The following table illustrates the image file format support for the favicon. Additionally, such icon files can be 16 x 16, 32 x 32, 48 x 48, or 64 x 64 pixels in size, and 8-bit, 24-bit, or 32-bit in color depth. The ICO file format article explains the details for icons with more than 256 colors on various Microsoft Windows platforms. Also see for Chromium animated favicon support. Use of favicon. This table illustrates the different areas of the browser where favicons can be displayed. Opera software added the ability to change the favicon in the speed dial in Opera 10. How to use. This table illustrates the different ways the favicon can be recognized by the web browser. If links for both PNG and ICO favicons are present, PNG favicon compatible browsers select which format and size to use as follows. Firefox and Safari will use the favicon that comes last. Chrome for Mac will use whichever favicon is ICO formatted, otherwise the 32x32 favicon. Chrome for Windows will use the favicon that comes first if it is 16x16, otherwise the ICO. If none of the aforementioned options are available, both Chromes will use whichever favicon comes first, exactly the opposite of Firefox and Safari. Indeed, Chrome for Mac will ignore the 16x16 favicon and use the 32x32 version only to scale it back down to 16x16 on non-Retina devices. Opera will choose from any of the available icons completely at random. Only CMonkey doesn't fetch favicon ICO files in the website's root by default. Device support. For Apple devices with the iOS operating system version 1.1.3 or later, as well as some Android devices, it is possible to provide a custom icon that users can display on the home screens using the web clip feature. This feature is enabled by supplying NLT link rel equals Apple Touch icon and GT in the NLT head and GT section of documents served by the website. If the custom icon is not provided, a thumbnail of the web page will be put on the home screen instead. The recommended basic size for this icon is 60x60 pixels, for best display on the higher resolution iPhone 4 screen. An icon size of 120x120 pixels is recommended. For the iPad and iPad 2, the basic size is 76x76 pixels. For the third generation iPad, the high-resolution size would be 152x152 pixels. Android tablets prefer 192 by 192 PNG icon. The icon file referenced by Apple Touch icon is modified to add rounded corners, drop shadow, and reflective shine. Alternatively, an Apple Touch icon pre-composed icon may be provided to instruct devices not to apply reflective shine on the image, with rounded corners added by iOS NLT link rel equals Apple Touch icon href equals some path image PNG and GT without reflective shine and LT link rel equals Apple Touch icon pre-composed href equals some path image PNG and GT. No HTML is required by browsers or mobile devices to retrieve these icons either. The website's root is the default location for the files Apple Touch icon pre-composed PNG and Apple Touch icon PNG. HTML5 recommendation for icons in multiple sizes. The current HTML5 specification recommends specifying multiple sizes for the icons, using the attributes rel equals icon size is equals space separated list of icon dimensions within NLT link and GT tag. Multiple icon formats, including container format such as Microsoft ICO and Macintosh, ICNS files, as well as scalable vector graphics may be provided by including the icon's content type in the format type equals file content type within the and LT link and GT tag. As of iOS 5, Apple mobile devices ignore the HTML5 recommendation and instead use the proprietary Apple Touch icon method detailed above. The Google Chrome web browser, however, will select the closest matching size from those provided in the HTML headers to create 128 times 128 pixel application icons. When the user chooses the Create Application shortcuts from the Tools menu, animated favicons. Various browsers such as Chrome, Firefox and Opera support animation of favicons. A bug report has been open for Firefox since 2001 requesting a way to disable the feature. Limitations and criticism. Due to the need to always check for it in a fixed location, the favicon can lead to artificially slow page load time and unnecessary 404 entries in the server log if it is non-existent. The W3C did not standardize the REL attribute, so there are other keywords such as shortcut icon that are also accepted by the user agent. Favicons are often manipulated as part of phishing or eavesdropping attacks against HTTPS web pages. Many web browsers display favicons near areas of the web browser's UI, such as the address bar, that are used to convey whether the connection to a website is using a secure protocol like TLS. By changing the favicon to a familiar padlock image, an attacker can attempt to trick the user into thinking he or she is securely connected to the proper website. Automated man-in-the-middle attack tools such as SSL Strip utilize this trick. In order to eliminate this, some web browsers display the favicon within the tab whilst displaying the security status of the protocol used to access the website beside the URL.